everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Fashion Grunge Podcast. I am your host, Lauren, and I have a special guest with me today. Here's my friend, Mikey.
Hey, how are ya?
We're going to be talking about the movie Go from 1999. So I'm really excited about this one, and I'm glad that Mikey's here because, it's your first time. Are you excited?
I'm so excited. I've been listening to your podcast for a little bit. I'm more newer, I guess, to listening to it more frequently now, but you're amazing and your friends are so cool and so lax.
Please. Okay, full disclosure, I know Mikey. It's not like he's a stranger that I got off the internet. We've known each other since we were like 12. We just haven't done a podcast together. So this will be really interesting. And so for the record, we both, it'll be really cool. And we both own this on DVD. So we're old school. We're
old school.
We're kicking it old school. We're not.
I had it on VHS.
I think I did too. I definitely had it on tape, and it's out on Crackle right now for people who want to watch it because it's kind of a random film. Like it's not. I mean, I guess it's like supposedly a cult classic by now, but it's not like on Netflix. Like it's not one of those kind of movies. So go watch it on Crackle if you haven't seen it. And I always forget to say this, but send a review in on Apple, like give us 5 stars, write something, like it helps the podcast get more recognition and stuff and move up in the charts. So I always forget to say this. I always say it at the end of the other episodes, but now I'm going to remember to say it first. So give thumbs up, 5 stars, whatever, and just write something so more people listen to it. So let's get into it.
Get into it.
let's get into it. So Mikey, what are your first thoughts about Go? Like when did you first see it? Like what was the vibe?
So when I first saw it, I believe you were at my house and you brought the VHS tape with you. And I was like, at first I didn't really want to watch it, but then you were like, it's about like the drug scene and clubs. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll give it a shot. And there's such a star-studded cast, like Katie Holmes, Scott Wolf, Jay Moore, Timothy. I can't remember how you say his name. Oliphant.
Yeah, I think it's Oliphant.
Oliphant.
Something like that.
I mean, Taye Diggs, Breckenmeyer, who was in Clueless.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. So like my first impression was just, kind of like I told you earlier, very Pulp Fiction-y with that like Love Actually, different perspectives of the same story going on. It's really interesting. Really, the music is amazing. The clothes are very, what was that, 99, right? So
yeah, we'll get into that.
Yeah.
Totally. The clothes were definitely they're really weird. They're cool though.
Yeah.
They're super cool. Awesome. I have the same thing. I think were we in high school?
Yeah. Yeah, it was I graduated in 2001.
Yeah, so did I. So I think we were in high school when we saw it. Like I don't think we saw it way late. I think we saw it like near when it came out.
Yeah. And I wasn't go ahead, sorry.
Oh no. I was going to say like we saw it like around the 99 or 2000. Like we saw it around that time period. I didn't see it late. It's not one of those films that I saw like way later and that I discovered later.
It must have just come out on VHS or something.
Probably. It's probably Blockbuster.
Yeah, and it was... Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, no, I didn't have anything.
But yeah, no, it was sad because it was such a lackluster in the theater, but it became so popular later. And, those are kind of sad stories, but they're kind of cool stories afterward because you're like, oh yeah, it becomes a part of history where
totally.
it losing that word there, but like it appeals to those people.
Yeah, like the more underground, like kind of not like blockbuster crowd, like more independent underground kind of crowd.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. I feel like all the films that we review on the podcast are like somewhat independent, except for like Clueless and like except for something like that. But most of them are kind of like The Craft wasn't massive. Like it got massive later. And same with Empire Records. Like most of the films I love from the 90s are like not blockbusters. They're usually like more independents or things I rented and kind of like found later. So that was pretty cool. I definitely was researching about it, and there's definitely a lot of comparison to Pulp Fiction just because of the story structure and bringing in, 3 different stories and then having them interlock in different ways. And then in the end, they kind of all meet up, or they all kind of interlock in like a more obvious way. So there's a lot of Pulp Fiction. Yeah, there's just a lot of Pulp Fiction, I guess, comparisons, because that story structure I think was pretty new for the 90s when they started doing that, like separate stories that meet up and just like a different times, like, whatever, like time lapse or, timing. I also love that most of the film is at night. And
yeah, that was really
and
cool.
I also love things that take place in one night. I love movies that take place where it's like this kind of high energy, like all this stuff is happening at the same time, and it's all happening within like 8 or 10 hours. Like, I really like that it's, like that.
I think that's why, I mean, I know this is like a way different genre, but I think that's why I like The Purge so much, because it was only in one night.
Yeah. Did you watch side note, or we're going to rant about The Purge, but did you watch the TV show?
I tried it. I think there was 8 episodes. I got to the 4th episode and just kind of like got off of it.
Of season 1?
Yeah, because that's right. There's 2 seasons, right?
Yeah. I got about halfway through. I watched all of season 1. It is worth it. I would finish season 1. Yeah, and I got about halfway through season 2, and it actually was good. But they like changed the night it was on TV, so I just like lost track of it. But I have to find it again. It was like decent. And the thing about the second season, it was really cool because it started like 5 minutes before it ended. So you see the cleanup.
Oh, gotcha.
In season 2. So you know how you always wonder, like, well, wait, what happens when like the alarm sounds and it's now over? Like, some people are like in the middle of a robbery and like they get caught like half in a building, and then you see like the justice system, like how you actually get in trouble when you're doing crimes, like when it's not supposed to be purge time. That's really interesting. I'm glad they didn't make it like the first season where it was like purge night, because you always see purge night, but it was kind of cool that it showed like what the aftermath is, and like the people who work for the government, and like how they spy on all the cameras, and like
it's so crazy.
Yeah, it's cool. It's worth it. I mean, we're in quarantine, so we'll watch it.
Might as well, right?
What else have you got to do? Yeah, what else have you got to do? All right, so now we'll off of our Purge rant, but if you're fans of The Purge, like, write about it. Maybe we'll do like a bonus episode on The Purge or something.
I would like that.
Who knows? Since that's not 90s related, but it could be a bonus.
Oh, totally. Can I say this one thing? Sorry.
Yeah.
I was reading a reviewer's review on Google, and he said this, which I thought was really cool. He described Go as a triptych whirling on a Lazy Susan of revolving character perspectives. Yeah. And I just thought that was not my quote, obviously, but it was an amazing quote nonetheless.
It is. That is exactly what it's like.
I mean, because it's just, like the title is Go, and it's so fast paced.
Yeah.
And just, there's no breathing room.
No,
because it just goes to the character, jumps next character. It's fantastic.
I have to say that watching it again, I watched it this morning and, took proper notes. It had been a while since I've seen it all the way through. Mm-hmm. I will say that after you come back from, or after the boys come back from Vegas, or like their kind of story ends and it goes into Adam and Zach, like the 2 actors, that, and I think you texted me about it too, that story like kind of lost me. Like, I feel like the story like kind of slowed down a lot in that 3rd act when, it was funny. Like, I remember watching it when it was out.
Slow down, yeah.
It was funny, but I feel like the bit with the 2 actors and like the cop and like Jane Krasinski, like, it was funny, but I feel like it wasn't on pace with the other 2. Like, it wasn't on pace with like how fast and like crazy shit that was just happening. Like, whoa. It only got interesting when they left the house and then they like hit Rana. And then like they like that is when it obviously like started to tie in more to the story. But I was kind of like, oh, like their story's not my favorite. Like, Rana's story is my favorite. Like,
by far,
story. Yeah, like they're just like, that's just so funny. But yeah, I have some notes about the director. Let's see. It was directed by Doug Liman. The 3 films that he is most known for, he directed Swingers before this. That was 96. Yes, so good. Definitely going to review that. He directed The Bourne Identity, the first one with Matt Damon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Everybody.
Oh wow.
Oh, yeah. So he.
I mean,
yeah, so he has, he totally has that kind of like, I guess Swingers isn't very action packed, but all the other ones are very like fast. Like he definitely likes those kind of action. I feel like he does those like visual action films pretty well. Mm-hmm. Swingers was cool though, because Swingers is kind of like Go, but just chill. Like it's all one night, kind of sort of, not one night, several nights, but it's all like, at night, LA, kind of loungy, like just a different, type of people. Yeah, it's just like a different like set of people. Let's see, it was written by John August, which is cool. He also did like second directing on that too. I also love the editing just of it. Like I love the way they just do a lot of fast cuts. It was shot in 25 days, mostly between the hours of 8 p.m. and 8 a.m., which is really interesting.
Oh, that's interesting.
And the script originally started out as a short film about Rana working at the grocery store. It's actually based off working. It's called the Rock and Roll.
Right? Yeah.
What?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's based on this grocery store called Ralph's. It's actually called the Rock and Roll Ralph's on Sunset Boulevard. It's like kind of famous because it's a grocery store that is kind of like you see a lot of rock stars there. I used to go occasionally, but it's literally like on Sunset Boulevard, like right below Hollywood, like very like Hollywood Boulevard. It's in Hollywood. So it's called the Rock and Roll Ralph's. Like that's what it's called.
So it still exists.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it definitely still exists. And that's what he based it on, Rana working at that place. The place in the film, that's in further East LA, like East Hollywood, where they actually filmed the grocery store. But it's supposed to be like that grocery store. And then he wrote it as a short film. And then he eventually, I think, was selling it. And then he wanted to like flesh out the story. So then he created like Simon and then like Adam and Zach, and then that's how it became like a full-fledged story. So I thought that was kind of cool. And Sarah Polley, who plays Rona, was just brought in. Like she wasn't even auditioned. They just like wanted her to do it.
Yeah, she wasn't anything really.
Yeah, no, she wasn't in anything. Now she's like a big director. She's done like some independent films. She has a film about her life, which is really interesting, about her family secrets. Because I guess
like her actual life.
Yeah, like a documentary. Yeah, which is I think that's on Hulu. I looked that up, so I actually want to see that. And Timothy Olyphant was originally cast in Practical Magic.
Oh, and
during the same time. Yeah, he got fired, and then he ended up being able to do this, which is cool. And I think he originally was reading for Adam or Zach. And then he was like, and he was like, no, I want to be Todd. So that was cool that he was Todd Gaines.
I mean, seeing him in what was that, Scream 2?
Scream 2?
Yeah, I mean, it's basically the same, he plays the same character. He's very creepy.
Yeah, this is right after.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think Scream 2 is like, like 97, 98?
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that, yeah. So
he's such a great actor. Have you seen Santa Clarita Diet?
I tried to watch it, but I wasn't into the story.
Oh, you don't like Barrymore much, do you?
No, I love Drew Barrymore. I like younger Drew Barrymore's work. I haven't really like been too into like more like later things that she's done, but I definitely like Drew Barrymore. But yeah, the story, like the zombie, like it just didn't really interest me. But I like both of them. Yeah, I think they're really cool. But I was
they have such great on-screen chemistry.
He's really funny. Watch when he goes on Conan O'Brien because they're really good friends.
Oh yeah.
And they have YouTube clips of their interviews, and they're hilarious. Like he's so funny. Like he's a really funny guy. So I like watching interviews with him. So yeah, that's kind of like the production notes I had for. Do you have anything? Anything I didn't mention?
Well, I mean, it was so. I split my notes up a little bit because into their different stories, like Rona's story. Then I went to Simon's story a little bit, and then I went into what is it, Scott Wolf and Jay Moore's character.
We always like Adam and Zach are just such an afterthought. It's like, yeah, those two dudes.
I mean, and like you said earlier, I mean, like their story does get slower, so it's weird. And then I don't really care for William Fichter's character, like the officer guy. Like every movie he's in, he just plays this like sleazy character.
He has that face though.
And he
has like a weird face. He does. He has like kind of a mischievous, like weird face that you don't like really know what he's thinking. Like he looks like he's kind of up to something weird. Except for he's in Dark Knight in the beginning and the bank, and then the Joker shoots him with that shotgun.
That's right. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, he's in that.
Although saying that, like when they showed his butt, I was like, he actually has a nice perky butt.
I mean, yeah, he's actually like, we're all old now. I think when we watched the film, we definitely were not looking at like him like in like a weird sexual way. But now that we're like probably closer to his age now,
I'm like, he could get it, maybe.
Bad. Yeah, he could maybe get it.
Just put a bag over that. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
I mean, he's not that unattractive. He's really tall too.
He looks tall, yeah.
Yeah, he's a lot taller than I feel like definitely Scott Wolf and definitely like Jay Moore. But where's Jay Moore been? I feel like he was around a lot.
I forgot to even look that up. He was like the it guy for a while.
Yeah, and he was a comedian. Wasn't he like a stand-up comedian or something? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, he was in a lot of stuff. I feel like I haven't really seen him lately. I'll have to look that up. Well, then, like, let's discuss it in story blocks. Let's discuss it by story. Okay? Oh, yeah, no, I mean, I've seen this movie, so have you. Like, I'm not going to be thrown off by that, because I can interject, like, going forward. So, like, let's talk about Rana first. What are your first impressions of Rana, like, when you first meet her?
So, her as an actual person, I like her. She, at first, is very, like, laid back and chill. Gets a little like more aggressive later, which she develops, which is kind of cool. I've never personally worked at a grocery store, but I haven't either. I've worked in so many different sales positions that I feel everything she's feeling.
That first encounter with that woman who was like, you can't put bleach in the same bag as food.
And people are still rude like that. It's unbelievable. And not to get,
I know.
And not to get far off track, but like with this whole like COVID thing going on, people are still being so rude.
I know.
When people are putting their lives on the line. And it's just like, why? Why do you have to? I mean, I get it. The laundry does not go in the food. I personally get that. But you don't have to be, excuse my French, bitch about it,
Oh, yeah. Well, we can swear on here. I've put the explicit tag up, so
okay,
fucking
cool.
A. Yeah, so it's totally fine, yeah.
I love Sarah, Rana's jacket. Her red jacket.
Oh, yeah, I wrote that down. Very 70s leather.
So 70s. I love it. I liked how natural her hair was. It wasn't like done up or anything like that. Being in the time that we are now compared to 99, all I said was like, why risk her life to help two guys that she doesn't even know?
She needs the money for her apartment.
But then I realized that later, and I was like, oh, okay, cool, yeah. I liked how I guess, what was it? I wrote a note later when she goes to the guy's apartments, and she's like, "Who are you, Monty Hall?" And at first I didn't know who that was, and then I was like, "Oh," I looked him up, and he's a announcer for Let's Make a Deal.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Good one.
So that was kind of cool. Just these little like integral little details.
What did you think about Claire, Katie Holmes?
I personally love Katie Holmes.
She's very Joey Potter, aka her character in Dawson's Creek. Like she
in everything she does. Is very Joey Potter-esque. Even in like that movie Disturbing Behavior, which was after this, I believe, or no, before this.
No, yeah, right before. She was on a roll. Like once she was on Dawson's Creek, I feel like she was doing tons of films. Like, remember she did Teaching Mrs. Tingle?
Oh my god, that's right.
Yeah, like that was written by Kevin Williamson, who writes Dawson's Creek and who wrote Scream and I Know You Did Last Summer. Like, he just wrote tons of like teen stuff then, like tons of teen movies, and she was in like a lot of them.
I love those movies.
I know. The ones now, I guess we're not like the target audience, so like I had to give up on Riverdale because I was like, no. Like it honestly,
I'm
Luke
about
Perry,
to.
that was it. Like, I think when Luke Perry is gone, that kind of sealed the show. In some way, I feel like they never really recovered from that. Like, there's just always something missing for.
And they tried to
from
introduce
Riverdale.
like his uncle,
brother,
I guess, or brother. Yeah.
oh yeah,
Which
his
didn't
brother. I was
really
like,
make
no.
any sense whatsoever.
Yeah, I was like, no, you can't do this. And Skeet Ulrich is leaving this year. I was like, fuck this. This is the only
is he
reason I
really?
watch the show. Yeah, him and what's her name? What's the girl's name? Veronica?
Yeah.
Her mom is leaving too. Yeah, the mom and Skeet Ulrich are leaving. And I was like, well, fuck that. I only watched it for Luke Perry and Skeet Ulrich. I don't really care about these kids. Yeah. So I was like, well, they're both gone. And like, okay, why are they making all the parents like daddies? Same with the old cop, the one who had the gray hair. I was like, dude, he's hot. I was like, why?
What are the millennials say? What's the millennial term? It's like zaddy or something.
Oh, zaddy,
like sexy daddy or something.
I guess I don't know.
I don't know. There's too many millennial words out there and phrases that I'm just like.
We're elder millennials. I think that would be like the Gen Z people.
Gather around the Snapchat crowd. Children.
Oh yeah, that girl's. What's her name?
Eliza Schlesinger.
Eliza.
She's an amazing comedian.
She has a special on Netflix. Yeah,
she's got like 4 or 5 now. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah, I watched like half of the elder one. I don't like stand up, so the fact that I could get through half was pretty good. So
I'm proud of you.
So, yeah, I actually liked that one. But wait, back to Go.
Yeah.
So okay, Katie Holmes, and then we also meet Manny, who is their like weird guy friend who is like also works at the store. And is kind of like a stoner, I guess. I would say like he's more of like stoner energy.
So.
Yeah, he has like that stoner energy. I love when she goes and meets. First of all, a side note, I love Manny's car. He has like this old beat up car with like Christmas lights inside. It's
my first boyfriend, John, who you met. He had his car interior exactly like that. I mean, plus more like obviously like gay things like plush animals and stuff like that. But he had like Christmas lights in there, and it was like a party in a box.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I miss that. People don't do that now, I don't think.
No, I mean, other than the stickers on the outside of the car, which I mean I know is a thing. It kind of like ruins the outlook of the car, but I mean.
Yeah, but it's chill. Like
it's chill,
it's like it's cool. Yeah, I love when they go to Todd's. Like Todd Gaines is Timothy Olyphant, aka the dealer.
I liked his apartment.
Yeah, when they go to his apartment, it was so
cool.
It's so cool and like weird, and I can't believe that she's just. I feel like in real life this would never happen. Like a dealer would never make a deal with some girl that he doesn't know. And just be like, oh yeah, you can just owe me the $100 later. Granted, she left her friend, who I would never do.
No.
I'd be like, no, I'm not staying up there. Like, too bad. But she's like kind of a goody goody. I think, what's her name? Claire.
Claire, yeah.
Katie Holmes. She's like kind of a goody goody. She doesn't want to rock the boat. She's like, okay, fine, like go. And then she just like doesn't come back. And then Manny steals 2 of them. And you're only supposed to take 1 pill.
I'm surprised like he didn't get in worse shape than he was.
Yeah.
I mean, like I'm not a drug taker per se. I mean, like I've experimented with, and I still experiment with weed, but that's not
yeah, it's not like pills.
But
like
I've done
ecstasy.
I've done X once, never again, because the 3 days later, I've never felt so depressed in my life.
Oh yeah, it is a real drag. But this was back in '99, people. Don't do drugs, kids.
Don't do drugs.
This was back in '99 when like ecstasy was like a big deal. Now I guess it's called Molly, but it was like a big like rave. Like there was like a whole rave culture around ecstasy, so it was more like, I don't want to say accepted, but it was like the drug that was like new and like kids were doing and going to clubs and dancing and like sweating and like passing out. And like dying essentially because of overdoses. So I think he would have died in real life.
Yeah, he especially for taking 2 when you're not supposed to. I mean,
and
especially because he's so little. Yeah, I know, the whole entire time.
Yeah, the whole night. And he's still there
in like a corner behind. what was it, like a gate of?
Yeah, like a metal like thing that she put like a metal sheet over him. She's like, okay, I'll be back. Like, and then she just runs out. I was like, oh my god, he's gonna be dead. And then he's like still there when they come back in the morning.
I just
and
wish
he's like, you look like shit.
I just wish they did like more of a backstory beforehand on him, and just I don't know, like they hardly gave him any lines.
But he had like some of the best scenes though when he was like rolling face when they went back to the grocery store to find fake pills.
That's
because they eventually like duped him. Yeah, and he like had that weird dance thing. Yeah, like he had some
Macarena.
Yeah, he had some of the best scenes, I think. I mean, aside from he got more screen time than Katie Holmes did. Like, I mean, Katie Holmes had not more screen time, but like his was a bit more interesting. Like she just like stayed up in the apartment, and then later you see her like make out with Timothy Olyphant, but like his was funny. Like she ended up just kind of being like a secondary, like ancillary character, but he actually had some funny scenes. Nathan Bexton was in this movie called, did you ever watch The In Crowd?
I feel like I have.
Movie? It was like this weird movie where this girl like was working at a country club for the summer. And then there were like all these rich kids, and like one of the girls, I think, like killed someone, and then she ends up like being friends with her, and like the girl gets obsessed with her, and he's like one of the other like rich friends, Nathan Bexton. I remember him from The In Crowd. And then there's another film, he's in Nowhere too, with James Duvall, who's also in this film. In the Vegas
that to me too.
Yeah, the Gregor Rocky film. Yeah, that's definitely going to be reviewed at some point. It's like one of my favorite movies ever. But I love Rana's story. I mean, she eventually like weaves her way, gets hit by a car. She like really gets through
messed
it.
up.
Yeah, like she really has a huge story and like a crazy journey from like when she wakes up and she just ends up back at the grocery store, and you're just like, God. But her clothes are pretty dope.
I think she was like and you can obviously tell me different. I think she was the only one that was quote unquote fashionable out of the whole cast. If that makes sense.
I like Timothy Olyphant's outfit. I mean, when he's shirtless. I like that too, but
you don't like him when he's shirtless.
Well, yeah, I like when he's shirtless, but I also like when he has when he's at the rave, like looking for Rana because she rips him off, and he has like that black jacket and that like army shirt and like the pants. Like he looks good. I mean, he always looks good. I love Timothy Olyphant. He looks hot now. He has like gray hair and he still looks really hot.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, he's aging really well. I think he's like 50. Oh yeah, I think he could totally get it. Yeah, he's super hot. I love him. And so let's move to Vegas. Unless you have anything to say about Rana.
I wish I had more to say on her. Like you said, I mean, like I really liked her story a lot. I could relate to her.
Cool.
She was very relatable. I mean, you want to save your own butt, you would do anything, I guess. Within a certain
to save from being evicted,
especially that,
like I feel like her story out of all the three, she has an actual purpose. Like you're actually following her, trying to like she has an end goal that you know where she's trying to get that money so she doesn't get evicted, and she does all these crazy steps, and I love how things just keep getting in her way. Like she wanted to like do that deal, then like all of a sudden like, oh fuck, it's a cop, and then she has to like dump him, and then she has to get other pills. Like she has to like, you kind of have to figure out what she's gonna do in order to save herself. The other ones are very like, I think it's kind of like that in the third act with Adam and Zach, but it's not. I feel like we're not as invested.
Simon,
Yeah, no, Simon is just like he's fucking around in Vegas. I mean,
I feel like that would be me though, like a long time ago when I was single.
What, the Vegas one?
That would have been me, probably. Yeah.
I've had 2 trips to Vegas and they've been insane. I did not have a threesome or get run out of town by some nut, but we did go to a strip club, but I mean, it wasn't anything like what they went through, but it was definitely like a crazy time. We didn't steal a car or anything like that.
Oh yeah, no, I haven't stolen a car.
Yeah, I have not
in
done
a while.
That.
No, I'm kidding.
Have not done that, but yeah, what do you think about Simon's story? What do you think about Simon in general?
Simon in general is amazing. First off,
he's an asshole.
He is an asshole, but at the same time, he's very amazing. And I wrote a note saying that he reminds me of Matthew Lillard's character Stu.
Yeah. He does.
Just because of his facial features, his mannerisms.
He does.
And then I love his red hair, and I actually kind of like what he wears too. To
very 70s.
Very 70s.
Very 70s.
His smirk is like, his smirk melts me for some reason.
Oh God, you have a crush on Simon.
I'm sorry.
Hot 90s tip, folks. He's also in the show Roswell. He's in season 2 of Roswell, I believe. Yeah, he owns the UFO Center.
Oh, that's awesome.
And Max goes to work with him. Yeah, that's the only other time I've seen him.
Honestly, I think I've only seen the first season. You're talking about like the old one, right?
Yeah, like the real one.
Yeah.
Bullshit
not this New Mexico one.
No.
I
the real
can't
one.
with like reboots and redos and just I can't.
I don't even want to talk about The Craft. It doesn't exist to me. It really doesn't.
I mean, there is this one show called Light as a Feather, but
I know you were talking about that.
I think it's on Freeform or something like that. The commercial looks whack, totally whack. Anyway, but my question actually, and maybe you can answer this.
Oh yeah, what's your question?
Okay, so Simon is British, right?
Yeah.
So why, when he goes to that wedding, picks up those two girls, pretends to be Irish?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's never explained, or did I miss something?
No, it's definitely not explained. I don't know why he, for some reason, thinks that the Irish accent's going to be hotter than the British one.
Right.
For these two drunk girls who, don't even
Wouldn't
care.
even know, right.
Yeah. But they do make fun of him because they say, traffic skew. They make fun of the way he says the words. And he's like, oh, are you making fun of me? And then so maybe, I don't know. I don't know why. That is a question. I don't know why it was.
I mean, he pulls it off, but
yeah,
it was just because it only lasted for a brief while
before he bangs them, and then that fight or not fight. I'm sorry, the fire.
The fire. I'm sorry, but I love that scene. I feel
what his tan truck, the one where he's
that scene is just it's very. I don't know why I say this, but it's very artsy how it's done.
Yeah, kind of, sort of, I guess.
That
part you mean the threesome bit?
The threesome bit, and then
going on fire, and he kind of sees it, and then doesn't. Yeah,
and then he doesn't do anything about it. He's just whatever. I'm having a really good time.
I love how he leaves them.
Oh, all naked and everything.
Yeah, he's just bye, and runs out. It's really funny. Wow, Desmond Askew looks very different now.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just looked at him on IMDb. He does a lot of voice acting in video games now, so that's
a lot of these actors and actresses do a lot of voiceovers. I was looking up that kid who was next door in the next room over. He hasn't done anything since 2010. But
isn't he the anointed one in Buffy?
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
Yes. That's awesome. I didn't actually see that until now. Yeah. But he does a lot of voiceovers, or did voiceovers for that cartoon called Recess.
Oh, someone else does the Recess voice too.
A lot. Oh, yeah, it's so crazy. I would love to be a voice actor.
So would I.
If I wasn't so self-conscious about my voice.
Oh, no. I mean, a lot of people will probably do it now because you can just show up in your pajamas and just talk.
I mean, that's what a lot of so with Disney Plus, they're having a lot of the actual actors from the Marvel movies do cartoons.
Oh, do the voices.
Do the voices, yeah.
That's cool.
Oh, it's fantastic, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
But
yeah, Mikey is a huge Marvel nerd. I'm trying to get him to start his own podcast. I feel like there's a huge market for Marvel anything, and I would
so do that.
Yeah, you should tell you and either a friend or I don't know.
My partner, Justin.
Yeah, or your partner. Yeah, I don't know if you wanted to say his name. But cool, it's Justin.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, if you wanted to, do one with him, you totally should. I mean, you guys know about it. And he knows about all the comic, issues and stuff. Yeah, he still reads them, so...
Oh, yeah, I mean, I jumped ship a while ago, unfortunately. But I get all my information from him. Yeah.
Yeah, you're just, on the movie train. Oh, wait, so back to Simon.
So another question I did have that I maybe missed the answer to. Why does he have Todd's credit card?
I think he said that he was he gets a discount because at the hotel because he has that credit card. He was like, oh yeah, because remember Taye Diggs is when did you get a credit card? And he's like, oh, it's Todd. And he's like, isn't he a drug dealer? He's like, oh yeah, he's a good guy. And he's like, oh yeah, he's the good drug dealer.
Oh, right.
So I think he got it to get the room because they got a discount.
Gotcha.
So that's like the reason why he got, I don't know why his dealer would give him his credit card. I mean,
I don't, yeah, I mean, so I don't know any aggressive dealers like Todd. And then two, like anyone that's that giving of, well, here's my credit card.
Yeah, just so you can book a room with your buddies in Vegas.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of weird. Although I do love the whole car ride scene when they put Simon in the trunk in order to drive to Vegas with James Duval, Breckenmeyer, and Taye Diggs. That conversation is like one of the funniest things ever.
Especially Breckenmeyer, who like totally steals Taye Diggs' story.
I know.
About the girl.
So funny about the girl and like the contact. And then he's like, man, whatever. And he's like, no, why are you lying and telling my story? And he's like, you're so stupid. And I was like, oh my God, I love this movie. And then they go to that buffet and they eat all that shrimp.
I can't.
I used $1.
I used to like buffets a long time ago, but yeah, no,
the older I get now, I'm like, this isn't healthy.
It's so unhealthy and
like
so,
for the food to be sitting. And nowadays, I don't think we're ever gonna have a buffet again. Like,
oh yeah, especially with this stuff going on.
Yeah, like we're post-Corona world. Like there's a lot of shit that's probably not gonna happen. Like. Who knows?
Oh, like Cece's Pizza, that's out.
Oh, sure. I love Cece's Pizza.
So good.
I haven't been there in a long time. Any all-you-can-eat is probably, like, done.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
They're just going to be like, nope, no more.
Maybe they'll just make it into, like, a Domino's.
Oh, God.
Or something.
No. Support your local pizza shops, people. I mean, Domino's is cool, too. I mean, let's support anything, because who knows what's going to be even around. Like, the restaurants I really like to go to, I really hope that they make it through this. Like the local places that are good, because I don't know. It just seems like I don't even know when this is going to end. This will be interesting to listen to years, later when we're like, oh, remember we were all under like lockdown and quarantine and
just did everything like by computer and
everything.
I mean, even like a lot of my drag queen friends, they're doing like virtual drag bingo, drag performances, and hoping to get like some money. So they'll put like their Venmo tag name on their profile. Yeah,
that's cool.
Which I mean, it's cool. It's weird, but it's cool. And this is like what everyone's saying, the quote unquote new norm, which is, I don't know. I mean, what we're gonna have to live with for a while. I
know, for at least like the next like 6 months, I would say, on like.
And they keep pushing. End. They keep pushing it. It's like with a lot of my neighbors who have kids, they're like, oh yeah, all our schools have been canceled till the end of the year.
Yeah, they just can't risk it. I guess they can't risk like one kid or one teacher like being sick, and then all of a sudden like the whole school is sick, and then they have to like shut it down again. Like I don't know how they're going to measure like when it's safe to open things up for everybody, because it only takes one person. Yeah. It's like that's what's so scary about it, but let's see. Oh, I had some let me see. Do I have any notes about Simon? I just wrote that Simon and Rana both have those dope leather jackets that are like the same color. They're like that reddy brown. Yeah, totally. I wrote that like theirs is really cool. And I love just the chemistry of all the 4 guys in Vegas. Like, I just love how like when they get busted at that strip club and then they run back into the room and like Breckenmeyer and James Duval are like sick from that shrimp and they're like, come on guys, we gotta go. These guys are after us because we like touch the strippers. And then they all just like band together and they're just constantly like, what are we running from?
Let me tell you what though, like that security guard, and I guess it was his dad.
His dad, yeah.
They've got like some mad energy, and they're willing to get revenge no matter how far like they have to do it. It's like ridiculous.
Yeah, they like chased them down.
That's commitment.
Super commitment. They like chased them down. They like ran down their credit card number. They went to LA for God's sake.
Right?
Like they drove through the night to LA to get
I would
him.
Give up at some point. Just be like,
yeah, just because he shot him.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because he shot him. Oh, not just because. I mean, I think if someone shot my friend or like my child, I would probably do the same thing.
Oh, yeah,
for the sake of the movie. And then like really funny.
Side note, real quick, I love Taye Diggs' purple shirt. It's very like metallic-y.
Oh yeah,
Kind of in that car chasing. And the yellow blazer is amazing. I want like 5 of them.
That's so funny. I love how like he just laugh. Like I think Simon's just like, "Is that your jacket?" Right. And then he just laughs at him.
And then he's like, "I love your shirt." No, we're not in Hawaii.
Yeah, he's like, "Look at your shirt, bitch. This ain't Hawaii."
Right.
When he like walks out.
Yeah, no.
And I love the whole chase, the car chase, like through Vegas.
It's so
like,
funny.
I thought that was cool.
I was gonna mention that too, and I'm sorry for interrupting. I love car chases, and surprisingly, I can't get with the Fast and the Furious series. Isn't that weird?
The first one's good. The first one's
I know
good.
there's more
I haven't watched the
involved,
new ones.
But, yeah.
They're pretty good. I mean, the new ones I haven't watched like all of them, but
I fell off after like the third one. What was that, like Tokyo Drift or something?
I didn't even see second or third. I saw like the 5th, and then I saw like the 7th.
Oh.
And then I'm done now. Like I don't need The Rock. Once Paul Walker died, it was really over.
It was
like it really now they're just a money grab. Yeah, it's just a money grab now because everyone's in it. Like Charlize is in it now,
Luda,
and like The Rock and Jason Statham.
There's so many people, yeah.
Yeah, there's just so many people now. What else do I have? I have like Vegas Boys in my notes. One of my favorite scene, I think, is from Vegas is like that car chase when they're like running around, like and the guys are following them, and
I think that's
that magic carpet ride. Yeah, I like that song.
I don't know if you want to go ahead with the music or not.
Yeah. What are your music notes?
My music notes are...
Yeah, you have way more music notes.
So I was so happy to find this soundtrack actually on iTunes because surprisingly, and I think it was because I moved about a year ago from Bethesda to the countryside. I lost a whole big CD booklet, and I believe my Go soundtrack was in there. So I was happy to find it on iTunes. No doubt.
There's also this thing called Spotify.
Oh, yeah, true.
Where you can stream things that don't have to pay for it. Although, do you have Apple Music or do you have Spotify?
Apple Music.
Oh, okay. Well, same difference, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to like...
But no doubt's single New on here is amazing. Mm-hmm. It was during her, like, Return to Saturn
the
album,
whole era.
Pink hair phase, and Len. I think they're like more of a one-hit wonder, but
yeah, I think so. I don't know any other Len songs.
Steal My Sunshine. Yeah, that's. But like Lenny Kravitz is on there, Natalie Imbruglia. Am I pronouncing this group right? Esthero.
Who is that?
I
don't even know who that is. I'm gonna look up the soundtrack now.
It's called like Song for Holly, which is kind of cool.
Oh yeah, Esthero. Yeah, I guess it's Esthero. Yeah.
And then this group, which I know nothing about, called Lion Rock. They have a song on the soundtrack called "Fire Up the Shoe Saw." And I just like that song a lot because, especially the intro of that song, they take, excuse me, they take instrumentals from that song. These boots are made for walking.
Oh.
And
that's
then it goes
that's the song in the beginning, right?
Yeah. Well, not the way beginning at the club. That's you told me. I think that was like BT or something.
Yeah, that one's like I think a mix that BT did.
But this is toward the end of the movie. I'm not sure exactly what scene. I didn't take that note, unfortunately.
Oh, neat. Okay, I'm gonna have.
But it's such a good song, such a great song, and you're like, oh, cool. I like. I mean, a lot of people are indifferent about it, but I actually like when other artists sample other artists' songs.
Oh, I think it's cool.
Put a twist on it. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Like, I mean, Missy Elliott's done it a bunch of times. Mm-hmm. So many people.
Like, Puff Daddy. That's like all he did.
Definitely.
In like late 90s. He was like sampling all those soul songs.
And like I said, I mean, there's a lot of people that are very indifferent about it. A lot of people hate it. But...
Dog issues.
Sorry, yeah. That's my dog, everybody. He's
like, what are you doing? Why are you sitting on the computer?
He will bark at anything that goes past his face.
He's probably like, why are you sitting on the computer down here?
Pretty much.
Why are you like in the basement?
Why aren't you playing?
Let's move on to Adam and Zach.
Yes.
So what do you have for them?
So what I have for Adam
I
and
don't really
Zach
have much.
is that
I mean, I like them, but
I don't have like quite a lot. I said soap opera star wannabes, that are they appear straight, but they're actually a couple.
Yeah, that was kind of funny.
Right. I love when Katie Holmes is in the grocery store and she's like, "Gay men are so hot," and then she says, "Tragic."
I know,
it's tragic. Yeah. I love how like Jane Krasinski was that guy's wife.
Oh yeah, I know.
It's so crazy to see her like so young and so painted up like that.
I know. Yeah, she looks so different now.
Are they a swingers couple?
I think they kind of play it like they are kind of a swinger couple.
Or that was their whole like.
That was like, but then it was all just to get them into that Amway shit.
Okay.
That like whatever the thing was,
the
like
Confederated.
Like Amway. I think it was set up as like kind of a diversion, so you think that they're like these weird swingers, but then they were asking them to sell Amway,
right?
And they're like, "What? You want us to sell Amway?"
It was very strange.
It definitely was really strange. And then Melissa McCarthy, shout out to her like very first.
Oh my god, that was
feature
like her
film, and yeah, she's like some guy's roommate that
young.
they both cheated on each other with.
And she lasted for like 5 seconds, but it was really cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. I was like, oh my god, Melissa McCarthy, wow.
I love looking back at like all these 90s movies and then seeing all the stars that we know of today.
Yeah,
even if they have a bit part, you're like, oh wow.
I felt the same way about Disturbing Behavior, which we'll do. I did like another episode of it before, and I think we're gonna just do another one and like finalize it.
That, yeah.
And it's like James Marsden, who's like massive now. Like he's in Westworld, like he's in The Notebook, like he was in a lot of things in the 90s too, but now it's like he's probably the biggest person in that film, because Katie Holmes is like like she's in some stuff, but he's like in Westworld right now. Like he's still, doing like big stuff.
Wasn't James Marsden like the first Cyclops in X-Men?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and he's in that Netflix show called Dead to Me with Christina Applegate.
Wow, he's in a lot. He also aged really well.
I think
he could also totally get it.
He could get it.
He's another 90s star that could totally get it. Like he definitely looks really good. Yeah, is that all you have for Adam and Zach?
I did have a little bit. Like they ran over Rona. I don't know if I should spoil that, but
oh no, I mean I'm assuming that people have seen this film. We're not we're not going to spoil it. And then it's on Crackle, by the way. Anybody wants to go watch it for free. And
then, like I said earlier, like they kind of dip into where you think they're going into Claire's story, but they don't. But toward the end of Adam and Zach's sequence, when Todd and Claire get together, it just comes so out of left field, because when Claire's in his apartment earlier in Rona's story, like they hate each other, or it looks like they hate each other, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, we're gonna make out in the hallway.
Yeah, like their story kind of ends weird. Like their story, it doesn't really end like the other two ended, and then it like switched. Theirs kind of like ends and then blends into like the final act of like putting them all together. So then you kind of see like, I think what they hit her and they put her on the car, they put Rana on the car, and then like that's when Katie Holmes like comes out, and then she's like looking, she's like looking around, and then that's when I guess she like walks to the diner, and then everything like kind of like fits back together.
Yeah.
I don't have much for Adam and Zach. I just have like weird cop third act. Like like there's some funny bits, when they're kind of like talking about like how that they suspect that the other is cheating on them before you like officially know like that it's about them. And then they're like, he's talking about all this stuff, and then in like the liquor store they're just like, wait, you slept with him? I slept with him too. And they both are like, wait, you want to tell me? All right, on 3, you're going to say who it is. And they're like, 1, 2, 3. And he's like, Johnny from makeup. And they're like, Johnny? Or like Jimmy or Johnny or whatever. And then they cut his hair. which is funny. They like see him at that rave,
Oh,
and they
yeah.
go and like they're like, "Hey," and then he's like, "Hey," and then they see the other guy, and then he like grabs his head and then cuts his hair. That was really funny that they
It's
like kind
funny.
of team up.
It's funny because I actually used to know like gay couples like that would kind of outdo each other
And like cheat with the same person.
and then be like, "Yeah, you want to tell me that stuff."
That's so funny.
And it would like just like, "You want to get my goat," or however phrase that goes.
But then they also like do things to kind of like then they end up getting back together. Like, do they end up staying together anyway, or do they like break up because of it?
Oh, you're talking about my friend?
Yeah, like the people that
yeah. I mean,
they still stay together.
They
It's
stay
not
together.
like they break up. Yeah. That's
Mhm.
kind of funny. But yeah, they had some like really funny moments. I feel like they are just. I mean, Scott Wolf. I love Scott Wolf. He's in that Nancy
he's
Drew show. I think
amazing.
I was telling you.
You were telling me. I have to. I have to watch
He's in
that.
that Nancy Drew show, which is kind of funny. And I guess they just had like really funny moments that I really liked throughout it. And I mean, I just love the visuals. I love that it's like nighttime, Vegas, LA, like bounces around, and the editing's dope.
And the editing is really good.
Yeah, it's just really cool. People should go watch it. Check it out. The last thing I have for like final thoughts and wrap up is, how well do you think this movie ages about 20 years later? It's about 20 years. So like, do you think it's held up? I think it has.
I think it definitely has. I mean, I've only seen it before recently watching it. I've only seen it like twice before. But it's a good movie that goes along with all of those other early 90s films.
It fits in the 90s like capsule pretty well. It's very reminiscent of the late 90s. It has like that Y2K era, you know, when things were like techno and like dance clubs, like that was really big.
Although
like,
I have to say I've never owned a pager, so I don't know what that's like.
Oh, I had a pager.
Did you really?
Fucking paging me, Claire. Yeah, I had the two-way pager. I don't know if you remember. I had it for like a little while, and then
no.
Yeah, I had it for like not that long, and what happened was the screen cracked because I went with like one of my friends in high school, and like I went to like her dealer's house because we were trying to buy like weed or something.
Oh yeah.
And then like he was like, "Oh, you got a two-way? I want to see it." And then I gave it to him, and then like, you know, we were like shooting the shit, whatever, and then he gave it back to me, and then later that night I flipped it back up, and the fucking screen was cracked. And I was
wow.
fuck. And I think it just broke because I never got another one. But I didn't have like a pager, like the standard one. You know, I had a phone.
Oh yeah, and then
instead of a pager, I had like.
And then the cordless phones I kind of miss, but kind of don't.
I know. Yeah, it's so weird that like they don't have. It's weird that they don't have like social media, and like everything is on the phone. Like you see Todd on the phone when he's like, "Hey," and they have a flyer for the rave. Like it's really old school, you know. Now, obviously, you would never see that.
Oh yeah, and then when what was it when I want to call Scott Wolf Bailey for his character.
Oh, I know, for Party 5. Is he Zach or is he Adam? I think he's Adam.
He's Adam, yeah. But when he was on the payphone, I was like, oh, I miss payphones.
Oh, I know. That's so funny.
Surprisingly, what was it? I remember 2 years ago in Bethesda, I saw like maybe one of the last payphones.
I think they still have them, don't they?
I don't know.
There's got to be some.
Probably some.
There has
like,
to be.
Near the
Send
office.
us an email if you've seen a payphone in your area. We want to know. Yeah, take a picture. Yeah, we want to know if you've seen a payphone. But awesome. So yeah, it totally holds up. Do you have any final thoughts?
I wish I did.
It's great.
See this movie. Go watch it.
Yeah, go watch it. It's a great
find it wherever you can.
Yeah, go to Crackle. It's free. It just has some ads in it, but it's totally fine. It's like Netflix, but it's free.
But
there are a lot of films that are.
I just love this whole decade of stuff. It's
just
really
cool.
Refreshing.
We get to relive our childhood a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, and like you said earlier, with I mean, it's interesting to see like they don't have computers and stuff like that. But I mean, in a time long time ago, it's interesting to compare and contrast how we've changed and technology has changed.
Everything.
fashion has changed, but yet still coming back from like yesteryear.
Yeah, like the 90s and stuff definitely still come back. Like they're still around. Like people are still talking about the 90s, and that's good for me.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The people still care. But yeah, this was super fun. Thanks so much, Mikey, for doing it.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we'll have another one. I feel like you're gonna be like the 90s horror movie person, or actually, we're probably gonna do Buffy.
We're gonna do that.
We're gonna review Buffy the film.
There's so much Buffy.
Yeah, the TV show we could also do, but there are a lot of podcasts for that. That might be like at a way later date. If we end up being in quarantine for like years, then we'll end up starting a Buffy one. I know. Let's, or maybe not. Maybe we'll just do one anyway. I mean, we can do one a week. It'll be totally fine. But yeah, this is it for this episode of Go watch it, and yeah, leave a review on the podcast and let us know how you liked it.
Thank you.
Yeah, and we'll see you on the next one.
See you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.